If you have money, then also everybody is your friend. End users who go for the incentive of money, they will, first of all, never lead to a very good community. A lot of people in crypto, they are a one-man show. And those people who think, oh, this will keep going for the next 2-3 years and they never sell, they are actually the losers. And they should sell. It's very important to sell and not to be greedy. Meme coins are actually, in my opinion, not that bad. Meme coin, it's the same like a gamble. Either you win or you don't win.
Welcome to Bitget Show. I'm your host, Vugar Usi, and today we have one of the craziest and daring entrepreneurs, crypto minds, Matthias Mende with me at the studio. Welcome, Matthias.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for having me. And thanks for the crazy, great introduction.
Honestly, like I am a huge fan seeing how you self-discipline with this ice bath and being on meditation and investing in mindfulness. I think this is one of the greatest aspects to self-teach and self-learn and self-control in this industry of crypto where everyone has the glamour and sparkle and money-making mind. How do you overcome this being overly sensitive, overly hype about earning, but also the opportunities out there? How do you channel your energy to the right direction?
Well, that's the very good question. And I would say that all those mindfulness and ice baths and meditations, they are very, very important. If I would not do that, I would need to go to a psychologist. Because you see, a lot of people in crypto, they are a one-man show, or they just invest somewhere, take money out more, or they do trading. Of course, this is also very stressful. But in my scenario, I run a team. I'm the founder of a project. And I fired a lot of people like during the bull run. So I just focused on development. And this is the main thing which I've been continuing. And the stress you have to do marketing, to do paperwork, to do company registration, legal stuff, dealing with the regulator, being the person to talk to the team members, making meetings, then media, it's so much, if I would not do this, I will really need to go to a psychologist. And what I figured out during my time building the project, that even I became a psychologist to some people I work with, because it's just psychoterror, and the field of crypto and blockchain, it's like weather in Germany. Maybe they say tomorrow is sun and it's raining. So we can't really rely on anything because the market, it's going up, down, and a lot of people change their sentiment based on what's going on in the market. And it's just crazy. So we have to be prepared and ready. So I'm happy that I discovered those type of things, and they've been helping me in life a lot. And I'm still sane, not insane. And I can continue the journey and getting closer to the target. And now, thanks God, also better times are coming in terms of the bull market, because the bear market, I think it's as good as over.
Today I heard a new term. It was telling like a crypto spring, where we are not in a summer yet, but winter is over. It's like a hopeful season. And I do enjoy the fact that...
It's amazing term.
It's a beautiful term,
yeah.
Right? And I like this, there were things you mentioned where we don't have to let the market sentiment to reflect on our mindfulness or decision making, because this is, I think, one of the biggest mistakes, especially people who are new to the trading, they do, right? You get overly happy when you do some gains, and you get super pessimistic when you lose, because market is not staying in one place, it's going up and down. And it's very important to kind of, we are emotional beings. We can't just tell we take it away completely, but being mindful and understanding that, okay, this is how you make the decisions without emotions, like taking it out. I think it's very important, whether you are trading, building a business, or you are just doing a regular 9 to 5. I have a question for you. Do you even trade?
Personally, I have some holdings. of Bitcoin, but I don't really trade anymore, not much. But I used to trade, and it was very tough for me because in the beginning I was learning, then I became good, and I really never lost any trade. And then after maybe 5-6 months later, I start with leverage, and then one time I lost crazy. And after this loss, my whole sentiment changed. I didn't have the confidence anymore to make the same moves as before. And I came to a moment that even when I slept, I was dreaming about red numbers following me. So what I did is, because I had sometimes these leverage positions open for like 1-2 weeks, and if they would go in the red area, I would just keep waiting until they go back in green. Or if it goes too much red, I would buy lower. So if it goes up the price a little bit, then I'm faster in the plus or in neutral. So what I used to do is I would take my phone, put it on super low lightning, because still the super low lightning in the night, it's a little bit. And then I would put the number of the token, like for example, $1.50. And then I just have it in the background, always screen off. So when I have some dream or something, I just open my eye, I see, okay, it's this number. And then I sleep. Because otherwise I would start thinking during the night, and I figured out I get this nightmares. So trading was a bit tough. It became tough, but I would love to trade again. And I found an incredible bot, because now the new AI bots and those platforms for like copy trading and so on, they are great, and they are actually compatible with every exchange because you just connect the API keys. And I've been watching my friend doing it, and I'm just waiting. Like, I'm actually just need to connect it. I will put like 10K and I will just connect it, because the bot doesn't have the same emotions like us, and it keeps working. I mean, it works for him perfectly. He made like 200% in the last 12 months during this bear market, now going to the crypto spring, yeah?
Exactly.
How did you say?
Crypto spring.
Crypto spring. So yeah, I think it's a good thing, yeah.
Honestly, when I was preparing for this podcast or Bitget Show, I had like different sets of questions, but like you opened up a very different path for me today, like AI and connecting AI with crypto industry, especially like when the crypto winter started and AI picked up. We saw a lot of investors going, and like basically the money that was previously in this hot topic of crypto now moved to the new cool kid in a blog to AI. And now you're mentioning that bots don't have that emotional intelligence, and they're not as emotional beings as we are. But do you truly believe that you can like trust your funds and make that decisions for you? Because sometimes, especially for me, like I would rather do like mistakes myself and be responsible than relying on other humans. But I never thought about like relying on a robot.
I think it's a great solution because, again, it doesn't have emotions. It follows data. And the majority of humans, they have emotions. So a lot of prices are actually because of the emotions. And because humans see certain patterns, and it's either up or down or sideways. So the possibility that it goes into some direction, it's much higher than 50-60%. So the bot makes better decisions, I think, at the end. I have a friend, he has another friend, he's very wealthy. He really trades 9 figures of volume every day. Only Bitcoin, Ethereum, like the top 5, top 10 coins. And this system is so powerful. It's crazy. And he doesn't even give it to anyone. He has some custom AI engineer building this whole platform, and it works. But he doesn't share it. He just keeps it for himself. But the person who was last week here, he gave me access to his bot, and now I'm going to try it. And I'm very convinced from it. Because the guy himself is a genius, and he's told me exactly the same problem he had.
That's cool. That's like having your own money printing machine.
Kinda, a little bit. Yeah.
All dreams come true. Honestly, like Bitget is it's the biggest copy trading platform in use, and there are millions of people who come every day. And one thing I understand, like copying the trade of the very professional trader, it is kind of a watching, I don't know, Mike Tyson's match or Lionel Messi to, score the goal. And another thing is relying on a bot. I think we are still on the process. Like personally, I am more prone into trusting other humans than the bots. But you are sounding convincing. But let's go back. How did you end up even in crypto? Like how that journey started? Like I know some people came back in times for the hype. Others got to hear from the friends. Majority of people I know, including myself, everyone came for like a get rich quick schema, buy it now, hold it later kind of a narrative. I am guilty, admitting it. Where did your journey start?
My journey started in 2016. Actually, in 15, there was an American guy who is very big in like drop shipping and all those offers on social media, which he would scale crazy. And this guy, he's like really wealthy and crazy. And he said one of the biggest guys in Bitcoin, OTC traders in the world, he's coming to Dubai. He's my friend. Please meet him and connect him to people. And I would say, what Bitcoin did it. But then I think, okay, this because it's him asking me. And I know when I was with him in Las Vegas, he went crazy and he spent 6 figures in a nightclub. So I take him very serious, even though I didn't know what it is. Because
it must be a very good fun in Vegas you had that you took people serious.
Yeah, it was big time fun, but it was also completely unnecessary. This money could also be given to some good deeds or to some impact. But some people, they like to do also those things to show the other people in the place who they are, and then connections also happen. So it's like an investment sometimes, which is crazy, right? But it is how it is here in Dubai. It also happens sometimes on this type of scale. Anyhow, this person, Matt, he introduced me to the trader. He came here. I introduced him to many people, even some royals, people who never heard about Bitcoin. Even I personally did not believe exactly in Bitcoin because I didn't know. But then later, I did a OTC trade. I was able to find a pair and I made a nice 5-figure commission. And in this time I was running my social media agency. So I was doing growth hacking for all the top restaurants, top nightlife venues, entertainment venues in Dubai specifically, even all the competition, they were all my clients. And during this time, in social media, you make like one client $500, $1,000 per month. It wasn't really crazy money. And I sometimes have to follow up. But then I make one introduction, one deal, and I make 5 figures commission. And I'm like, wow, amazing. And this gave me motivation to read the white paper of Satoshi Nakamoto. And after reading this white paper, I read about blockchain. And then I understood what blockchain is. As soon as I understood, I fell in love with the technology. And falling in love with the technology gave me all those ideas and visions, what could happen in the future, how blockchain could be used to make governments better, systems better, companies better, less cheating, less manipulation, less corruption, more efficiency. But also at this time, I did not know that Bitcoin is very limited in transaction speed and transaction cost. But of course, there were more blockchains coming. I learned this all with the time, but that's how my journey started in this industry.
And when did you buy your first asset?
2016 and 17.
And do you still hold them, or?
Yeah.
Are you like a holder or trader?
I hold still Bitcoin, of course. Not much, but a little bit. I've been paying a lot of Bitcoin to run the company recently. And it's very painful when you have to pay salaries in Bitcoin, because if you cash out Bitcoin at a price of 20K, 25K, and you know exactly that this asset will be 6 figures one day, then suddenly you think, okay, this person, he costs $1,000 today. And if I calculate it in the future, now his salary is suddenly $15,000 perhaps. So it's painful, but
I think it's a pure economic decision. It reminded me the story of the guy who paid so many Bitcoins to buy 2 pizzas, right?
yeah, that's crazy.
It's a very like a pizza Bitcoin. Exactly. Like, I think that is like, now we are logically came to the venture you are building and the story of what kind of a problem you are trying to solve. And do you think whatever you are investing today, your time and the Bitcoins that you are investing in this venture would be valuable enough in 5 years when rather than just holding that Bitcoins?
I think, yes, it's worth it. I'm all in because I think that through the blockchain technology itself, we're solving really some very serious problems. Again, before the technology wasn't scalable enough, too slow, transaction costs too high. But now with the new blockchains, everything it's much more efficient and faster and more friendly. And when the technologies are merged together and there is a very good economic system which also gives money back, then the system can self-sustain itself and can actually run profits. And I believe it makes a lot of sense, specifically also being in Dubai and UAE, where the future is like people, they want the future. They want everything more modern. The government has the mindset of putting any technology which brings more value, but they're also careful. They research. Recently there was the AI assembly, a crazy AI event from the government in the Emirates Towers. And there was ministers speaking and it was really, really inspiring. And it's such a great event. So seeing these things makes me always very happy and motivates me to actually keep on pushing the ball harder. And because to be in the right place and the right time with the right product is a great thing. And that's, I think, what's happening.
And what do you think about current crypto market, or even like when we do retro perspective and look at like past bull run? There were so many projects coming in and failed. Some were having great products, the others were just having a great marketing, a lot of rug pulls. Like, do you think in the current like a crypto, let's say spring or winter, the market changed a little bit compared to what was in there? Or like if it changed, like how did it impact the people who are creating in the industry?
Well, one of the biggest problems of the past is that, again, a lot of founders, they build cool ideas, they have cool ideas, but a lot of the people are young and they never actually built a product. So they don't know what comes with what is the responsibility of actually doing the A to Z. You see, in the traditional businesses, it's more that first it comes the idea, then they start building an MVP, a product, and then get more and more funded. But in crypto industry, Web3 specifically, people come up with some crazy idea, make an insane website, super nice promises. The marketing is actually 90%. And then they raised the money, they raised crazy money, and then they figure out how they build it. And going this route, it often doesn't work out, because if you have money, then also everybody is your friend. Everybody will suggest something. There are hidden commissions here, there. It's like, it's very tough, and I see this happen to so many founders, and a lot of founders or people who first time make money in their life, and they see sometimes the investment coming from investors as their profit, while this money should be utilized to create the product. So that's why incubators and accelerators, they actually add a lot of value, because they have people who build multiple startups, or they've been involved in those projects. They have good mentors, and they can guide this founder and this project. But for this also, the founder should not really have a huge ego and be able to listen and to learn, because sometimes when people make money too fast, their head becomes very big, and that's a big problem.
And how do you distinguish a good project from a bad one, especially if you are making an investment decision?
Well, there is many points to check. But firstly, I need to check if this project actually makes sense, if there's really a need for it, if there is a value of it. So the thing is, in crypto, it's a lot of primitive use cases or primitive reasons why something should be special. I'll give you one: NFTs without value, just pictures, which we can just take a screenshot, and I have also this picture. Doesn't really make sense. It never made sense for me that a monkey picture can be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. So I don't think that's something long-term scalable or healthy. It just came with the hype. And those people who create these hypes, they can just create the hype by making a transaction, launching a collection. And my friend, he will buy something from me for many millions. Now suddenly there's a very high floor price. I might give him the money back in another wallet because it's so easy in crypto. And then the price is high and the sentiment for the people in the world is, oh, this is very valuable, high. And then maybe somebody really buys it and then more people buy it. It's like crazy, but this exactly is what's happening. And a lot of people, like end users or not customers, but the end users, the normal people, they don't know that, and they need to figure it out, and this comes with the time. So to projects, to answer the question more detail, I think they should, if it comes to a token, it's really important to see the lock periods. Then it's important to see who has how many tokens. The tokenomics are very, very important. And the valuation of those tokens, especially when the token goes into the market, is also very important. I saw in the bear market some scammy projects who have a big story, amazing white paper. They've been raising seed at $600 million, $900 million valuation. And then they would just say, but this is based on the total market cap, not on the market cap of the unlocked tokens. But I said to them, bro, this doesn't make sense. You have always to take the total market cap of the whole projects, even of the locked tokens. Because who was doing tokenomics like this? Sam Bankman-Fried. Project Zerum had like 1 billion tokens, and 50 million tokens were only unlocked. And those 50 million tokens, they gave the project a valuation between $20 to $60 billion, which never made sense, but it was this way. But back in the day, we thought, okay, because it's SBF, he can do that. People believe in him. He's the legend, you know. But then later we saw it was wrong, and things collapsed, especially with FTT token and some other things. But sometimes it's really, really hard to see, and it needs more people to actually speak up or point those projects out, because otherwise innocent people, they'll just get screwed.
I think the FTX case was one of the most heartbreaking and most impactful within the industry. But on the other side, I believe in this, evolutionary theory, and I think it became the evolutionary theory of the crypto, where weaker players, bad actors are kind of eliminated, even though in a very painful way.
True.
Which triggers a new and great example for more and more centralized exchanges becoming more transparent, True. Having proof of reserves, having some funds allocated for this kind of an extreme cases to resolve the issues. And I think that is, even though in isolation, that one incident was very painful, it triggered a lot of good regulations in place and industry taking initiatives.
Absolutely.
And another important case for me, as you mentioned, in the bull market, the NFTs, where it's a first kind of an application of what we could do with the technology, and it again became like a get rich quick schema promotion, everyone buying these very expensive NFTs, some apes for millions. I don't know, Jack Dorsey's first tweet and all the other people who jump into the hype made some really huge cash. And Meanwhile, that technology could do so much better. And I'm sure you are working on a venture that utilizes the NFT technology. What is your opinion, like how we could shift our focus from the hype and actually zoom into the technology and look at the possible applications that are beyond the primitive buy it now, it will be valuable tomorrow narrative?
That's such a good question. So these applications, they should actually have use cases with which give benefits, which add value to human everyday life. But nowadays, we also have a lot of old systems, loyalty systems, like loyalty cards, loyalty clubs. From airlines, we have this a lot. But all those stuff could actually run on the blockchain. And instead of like the old school cards or like even voucher cards, which can be gotten as proper physical coupons, all this stuff could be as a redeemable NFT. And this is all EVM-based stuff. It all works. And we actually created our dynamic NFT protocol. Dynamic because it can change its state. So it's like a glass of water. When you get it, it's full, and after you drink it, it's empty. But it's still there, just that it cannot be used anymore because the state, it changes from 1 to 0. And this application can be used for too many things. And I believe loyalty programs are very, very important because every human has the power to add value. How? By using his social media. Everyone nearly nowadays has at least Facebook or Instagram or X. And it's like having an apple tree in your pocket. And now the apples, when you would want to sell them, it's like you take a picture and tag someone and you bring the value to this person or this brand or this restaurant or this community. It's already given a value, and humans can do much more of that because it's also like word of mouth propaganda. Because I would rather hear a recommendation about something than to see a proper advert about something, because adverts will never be negative. They are always positive. There's always psychology inside. Marketing is just such a powerful weapon. And I feel that from the traditional marketing, things will change now where humans actually will be able to add this value. And by giving them a platform where they have their own identity connected with their decentralized non-custodial wallet, where they can really have everything on-chain and control it, and then get vouchers. Also for the brands, it's much better because they know, okay, this is person X has this type of followers. Now we can reward them or give him the opportunity to go to this restaurant, or let him go for free to this water park because we know he will do some story or video there which might bring us 3 to 10 new customers. And if he does that, let's reward him more. Let's give him something extra. So this way, brands, they don't need to have faith or trust or believe someone. They verify automatic because the technology is there. AI can do insane analytics. You know, the state of China, it's like on a level that it actually punishes people who do things wrong in life and in the world. Like when they
social scoring.
But I feel this stuff is important, but it should not punish the people. It should just identify and authenticate who is actually the really valuable people to reward them, because sometimes people, they don't have chance to have a voice. But if they put a lot of hard work and it's visible or seen by the right people, then they can earn respect, and this respect can open them doors or make their life better. And that's why I feel that blockchain is very, very valuable for this. And
you touched an important point where you described how blockchain technology can replace the traditional methods we already have when it comes to, loyalty cards, physical vouchers, and everything in between. In theory, it is amazing, right? That, having an NFT event ticket, if you resell, you can gain some value. there so many mechanisms can be built in. It is unique. It can be authenticated from airlines to, I don't know, concerts. Everything could be done in theory. And I attend a lot of crypto events, and I have yet to see an event that actually has an NFT tickets. We still rely on barcodes, on QR codes, emails, and like, why do you think, why the industry that we are so much preaching, oh, this is the things could be done, we fail to do it ourselves?
I think because the solutions are not there, and those which are there, they don't have the right user experience. User experience, I think it's the most important thing. And Steve Jobs, he was always preaching and talking about user experience. That's why Apple and iPhone is so successful, because it's very intuitive. It's very easy to use. Things, when you open them, they have to be logic. Like this glass, I see it, okay, I know I can drink. It's common sense, you know, but if a product is too complicated, if a product has like obstacles like gas fees, nowadays we have account abstraction, ERC 4337, and because of this, users get really a Web2 experience. And this is the good user experience, because you see, there are people in Web3 like us who understand how MetaMask works, how to sign a transaction, all this complicated stuff. But the majority of the world, they don't understand. And they don't know how a blockchain works. And they don't even need to know how it works. But if the application will have this, then it's long-term, more scalable and more sustainable and more real and more honest and more trustworthy. And that's why this time has come now. And we like this, the new products which are coming now, I think there will be few companies who figured it out, and they will make a big difference.
And you mentioned like the importance of the user experience. I think one of the biggest challenges of the industry was that in some portion of the narrative, we want to be very self-sustainable, self-reliant, self-custodian. I own everything mine. And it kind of makes the things complicated. You have to explain people what is, I don't know, save these 12 words, write them down to the paper, don't take a screenshot, which is also like a very, very complicated user experience, especially when you are like a so Web3, but you still want people to write it down on a paper, kind of a narrative. And on the other side, I think the greatest leap forward in adoption was the centralized exchanges, even though they don't represent what everything else is. It is where you can have social logins, you can recover stuff, because like when you put this note to people that, oh, you have to write these words down, you could get hacked, you can lose everything, no one even wants to join in the first place, in my opinion.
That's correct. But the exchanges, they were the first ones who used the social logins, because it's like logging in a bank. Technically, exchanges are like banks because they hold the custody over the coins, and they can have the most complicated systems in the back end, but the front end can still be simple for the user. But now in Web3 or in the decentralized world, let's say, we have a lot of great tools, like, for example, Web3 Out is a great tool, or Particle Web, where users really can log in with their Gmail or with their Apple ID or even with their Discord account. And then based on this, there's a MPC, multi-party competition wallet created, and it has actually the power to open the account with the Google account. And it's a decentralized account. At the end, it is non-custodial. But then, okay, maybe Gmail blocks you. Or let's say Gmail itself, it's not decentralized, it's centralized. So the part of the decentralization goes away, but we also don't, like, I believe the people should not be forced, or they don't need to put all their assets to this, you know, if to those wallets. They can hold certain things there, but if it comes now to serious money, to serious wealth, if they really trust the exchange and they are happy with it, and the exchange prove itself, then they should keep it in the exchange. I think that's fair enough. But much better is the self-custody, and I think cold storages like ledgers or trezors, they are like the true safety.
Safety. And in this narrative, like I think you are taking us to a direction where, you know, mountain doesn't come to Muhammad, Muhammad goes to mountain. When I think in the
Okay.
yes, right. Like in the beginning, I think the Web3 narrative was so strong. We were expecting everyone from Web2 to jump into Web3,
Yeah.
but now more and more like Web3 is heading towards the Web2 in order to reach users where they are already. And I think the best out of all experiences was how Instagram onboarded all the 100 million users to Threads in a week, while AI took 2 months to do it. Bitcoin took like 10 years to do it. Like when you don't want users to come to you, go to user. And how do you think, like, what can, you know, lead to the next change in the crypto industry when we go to the user? Like, what is that next solution? Like, especially like whatever you are building.
Well, we are B2B2C. So our vision is that we want to empower every single brand, every community, every event, anything what has users, because they will give the users a tool which they can connect better with the users, and the users can also connect better with the brands by giving them more value, because it's trackable, because it's on chain. But the users can also have the chance to decide how much data they actually want to share, because they can switch privacy on and off. And there's zero knowledge comes in, and it's also a very powerful tool because it makes transactions even more cheap. But this is a very, very important part.
But don't you think that sometimes like these beautiful solutions that out there, they fail because industry players kind of either they don't want to work together, or they fail to collaborate, or even there's, I don't know, layer ones and layer zeros, they have built their industry or technology on, can't simply talk to each other. And there becomes this like a barrier or chaos. And how do you think, like, is that even important? Or you think that there should be like this one winning case that takes all because they are there first, or they're doing it better, and then users, it will be very hard for users to switch from one protocol to another?
Well, that's a very good question too. But I personally think that the users, they don't really will care which chain they use, as long everything works in the background. Our application, if we remove all the words of NFT, of decentralization, users will actually think they really use a Web2 app. And as long it works, okay, the thing is, it still needs to verify transactions. Some actions, they really take 15 to 30 seconds. It's a little problem. It's a little bit long, but they will get used to it. It's not that they play a game where they have to have a 0.1 second ping when the door opens and somebody shoots in advance and they're dead. No. There can be this delay because, you know, it's like maybe redeeming a voucher or it's like paying with a Visa card. So this also takes 3 to 10 seconds sometimes. So I think users will not really care as long as it's very easy, very simple. I feel that, did you ever seen like anyone who reads the instruction of how to use an iPhone?
Never.
iPhone,
I always think it's very useless.
Because it's so intuitive, the phone. I love Apple for that, because it's made so easy that everybody really understands, because it's like straight in your face, this. It's super easy. And it takes time to figure certain things out to build for example, when it comes to the user interface. We built maybe 5 MVPs till we got to this level. So it was like non-stop laboratory word thinking, change this makes more sense, this. It really takes time to build it. But I think users at the end, they will not care which chain it is, as long as it's work and it's easy and they don't have gas fees and no drama, and they just have the utility, which makes their life better. Because at the end, even influencers, they have to pay bills. Every human has to pay bills. And a lot of people like to really show off what they do. And they love social media life to show that they are in this coffee shop, drinking now this new mocha with some cream on
Sprinkles.
top and sprinkles. But now if they actually show it, they might get a discount for the next visit, or they get a coffee for free. But now if they have a lot of followings, they will not even pay for the next coffee. They will really get it for free. But because of them adding value to the store, now there's 3 to 5 new customers. So it's like self-sufficient system which can work, and it doesn't need managers and people in the middle. And that's, I think, where the true value will come in. But that's just in one industry. There are so many industries, so many industries.
It's like you are mentioning about like a utility and also like a real life utility. It's not like some digital, I don't know, items that you buy in a game. Like, don't you think that most of the projects do fail because they end up having an idea without actual utility or application of the tokens they issue or assets they are trying to sell to the market, and how that can be fixed?
Of course, that's one of the big problems. And one of the biggest problems is that a lot of projects, when they reward their users for certain good deeds, how do they reward them? They reward them with tokens. They reward them with money. I think end users who go for the incentive of money, they will, first of all, never lead to a very good community, because we've seen in the last bull runs already all those bounty hunters which do certain things to get some tokens, and the numbers, they go big, but there's no action. They come, take the tokens and leave. And which value did they add at the end to the project? Or nothing. They just added a number, a following. And this is something poisonous, I believe. At the end, it doesn't value anybody. But if they have a good value, which is true, by getting an utility, by getting a service, which they should pay for, but now they added value to get this by doing something, is different. Now people, they will appreciate it more and they will come again, because it's also about having recurring users, that they come again. And that's another problem to solve. You see, Eventbrite, Meetup.com, Luma, for example, you create an event and then users come to the event and that's it. There's nothing more happen. I feel that those events, there's so much happen, there's still more value to extract, because every user who comes there, he actually has the social media accounts and he actually has the power to add more value. It doesn't mean that everybody needs to be now an influencer, but every human has an influence, even if he doesn't have social media and he just talks to the guy on the counter about Bitcoin and makes him aware, oh, Bitcoin, what is this? Maybe after 1 week he will go to Google, research about Bitcoin. So every human has an influence. That's why we say also those humans who want to do good in the world, they will do good. And those who want to bring chaos, they will just bring chaos. So it's at the end a little bit like angels and demons. You know what I mean?
I do. And I have a question, like, why someone like you who thinks so much about utility possibilities, extracting that last drop of the value from all possible opportunities, and on the other hand, there are some people or group of people who come up with a meme coin and end up making much more money.
True. Happens. And you know what? Meme coins are actually, in my opinion, not that bad. You know why?
Why?
Because a lot of people, they love to gamble. In the casino, when they play blackjack or roulette, it's nothing illegal. Okay, it's illegal here in UAE, but a lot of people, they love to gamble. Gambling is an insane, huge industry. So meme coin, it's the same like a gamble. Either you win or you don't win. And that's why I hear even that the SEC, they don't really care about meme coins, because it's straightforward, not a promise. It's a true gamble. It's some funny story with some frog or some penguin or something. Works. And that's more casino. That's gambling, but in a different way.
Honestly, what I like, of course, I don't endorse any meme coin, but like what I like, the logic of meme coin is that they have very strong marketing machine and they turn every asset holder into their promotional kind of an ambassador going and talking, because as a holder, you're interested that more people hold, more value you gain, and more, you become rich most of the cases on paper because of the slippage and all the other things. You can't just cash out all the virtual millions you have, but eventually you have that, I'm a millionaire for today kind of a feeling. And I think more and more ventures should learn from the meme coins, how to build the community, how to engage people into their actions.
But that's exactly one of our missions, to solve this, because every brand could have a strong community, but it's kind of a little bit like a religion, you know what I mean? It's not following a religion, but they make the brand that, wow, the frog, it's amazing, that's the life changes, things are great, and people just believe in it and they share it because they believe in it. And crypto, again, a lot of is about marketing, and those meme coins also, they often have a very small market cap. So as more people jump in, often they rise up very, very quickly. So this type of communities are strong because they know the only value of this coin to grow is if they let others know and more people buy in. That's why they work often. But the minus side is, once things go negative, first they love it, and then if it's negative, if you give them a stone and you say this is the founder, they will take the stone and throw it the guy.
That's why in most cases you don't know the founders, right?
Yeah, that's exactly. They are often doxed, but that's the thing. So it's more like a casino. So people who put all their net worth in such a project, I think they have a problem in their mind and they should rethink their strategy. But those who want to gamble, they should put like maybe 1-2% of their net worth or whatever they feel okay to lose, and it's okay. Perhaps they hit the next Safe Moon or Shiba Inu, or I don't know, what was there else? Like Pepe. Pepe was, I think, one of the best samples which we had in
a winter market. It is very crazy that in such a down market, they were able to become the next big meme. And I know a lot of people who made fortune out of it.
Yeah. A lot of people become millionaires. But me, I was never lucky with those things. The thing is that I'm a little bit judgmental, that I straight ahead would not even put this 1 or 2% because I feel it's a waste. It's needed somewhere else. Because I knew about many things in advance, even Shiba Inu, I could have just put $1,000. I'm sure it would have been $500,000 or something. I knew early. I checked when I received the message. And sometimes when these recommendations come from good people, I learned to actually, let's just put $500 or $1,000 and forget about it. Because at the end, it works. Sometimes it really works.
And what's your overall investment strategy like virtually? If today you decide to build a portfolio, you're a no-coiner, you decided like today is your first day, like how would you structure a portfolio that doesn't have risks to lose all of it, but has enough like an appetite, but be on a safe side? Because you mentioned you did a lot of leverage trading.
Little bit. Before leverage, I do well in spot. But when I start leverage, it was not so good anymore. Especially after I got burnt one time.
That's a one-time burn.
At this burn, it's like if somebody cut my hand off, I cannot get it back. I don't know. Maybe if I go to doctor, to a trading psychologist, he will maybe repair me. But the trainer's gone. Trading is not for me. I respect people who do it, and they have a strong discipline. They have to have strong emotions. But I rather will use the bot. But to come back to your question, I think very important, like my strategy or what would be the projects which I believe, think infrastructure projects themselves, because any application, any use case will need a blockchain on which it runs. So this is like the fundament layer which needs to be used. And I think Polygon, they established themselves extremely well. They have a lot of brand partnerships. They have good prices, are scalable. It's a very good project. And even Solana is also pretty good. They had some issues, but they're becoming better. And as more founders will use those technologies to actually build their projects, it's a good thing. So The infrastructures are very good. Oracles, I think, very, very important. I think Chainlink is very, very powerful because they have insane partnerships, and I don't know what else they will do. Even in Ripple, I kind of believe. I don't know. It's a bit more centralized somehow, even though it's decentralized, but I still kind of believe in it because they do all those right partnerships. And it doesn't mean that the technology today, it's finalized. They can always come up with an update. Even Polygon came with ZK EVM, and now they come with Polygon 2.0. And Polygon 2.0 is totally crazy. It's like with all the app chains, it's a little bit like Cosmos ecosystem. I think it can be extremely powerful. So I definitely see the future in those infrastructure projects, and then in projects itself which utilize the technologies in the right way to give the right utilities. I think games, very powerful. If Nintendo would come up with a blockchain, like if they would use one of the blockchains and come up with like Mario Kart and some of these games on a blockchain, I would guarantee to take it from the beginning because they've been succeeding since a long time. So they have track records of success and their games are very playable. And I think this would make sense. And now with users not paying gas fees, I believe that in the future it could really happen that some of these big game producers, if they use this infrastructure solutions, it will be great. So gaming, it's also very good. But the game should be good before the blockchain, not after the blockchain.
I think that one of the biggest issues with the blockchain or like crypto gaming overall was that it was very much heavily focused on play to earn aspect without any fun element. And in my opinion, as you mentioned, also,
but that's
the game should be
part.
Fun before it becomes blockchain.
Yeah, but that's the marketing part. And when you give the money as the incentive, and you have people in countries, they suffering to make $150, $200 like in Philippines, and then you have Axie Infinity, which they can play because it's such a simple game, even on very bad Android devices it will run. Yes, everybody will play it. And the whole tokenomics with the, also that you have to buy the NFT, and the NFT is the Axie, and they can also mate and get babies. And they are newcoming. It's a good story and it makes sense. And it is quite revolutionary, even though it's slightly primitive. But at the end of the day, it worked. There they got hacked. But you know, even after they got hacked, they still, a lot of people been playing Axie Infinity. But the first incentive was money, and that's what made the hype. And then the people, the traders, they see, oh, there's a lot of on-chain activity, stuff is going on. So they also buy in and the prices go up.
The system goes up.
And those people who think, oh, this will keep going for the next 2-3 years and they never sell, they are actually the losers. And they should sell. It's very important to sell and not to be greedy. I know many people who never sold. Even me, the projects I've invested from my friends, I never sold them, never. I still have all the tokens and most of them are at the same or below the price which I bought. But I believe they will also go up again in this bull market. But not selling, it's not smart.
And what is smart then? Like when to decide to sell and when to decide to buy? Like, because sometimes or most of the time, as you mentioned, like yourself, you never sold on this share. We have a lot of guests who are like holders and long-term holders, and that was the kind of a narrative that, especially Bitcoin, right? It was only asset that kept growing in the last 10 years, even compared to S&P 500, real estate market, and so on. It's kind of a value capture and value kind of a holding tool, investment tool.
Yes.
But you also now telling that, oh, not selling also is not smart. Like when one shall decide to sell?
Well, as soon I think it's profitable to get the investment out. But also I would not sell everything. I would sell a little bit on the road up, but not wait for the highest point. There were people, Bitcoin came 69K, they did not sell. Then it went down, I think it was 40, 50, and they were hoping it will go up again. But it went up one time a little bit, but it never went beyond. And then they never end up selling, and then they hold it even in the low price. But if they would have sold a little bit on the top, 10, 20, 30% of what they have always the chance to buy it back on a lower price. So this is also like trading now, but this is a good strategy in my opinion, because this way somebody can at least make some profits. Because if there's too many people who make profits.
And most of the time, I think what happens, like everyone is waiting for that big thing because they want that 10x, 20x, and they don't want to sell on the when it goes up, and when it goes down, they panic and sell. Then it goes a little bit up, they go buy expensive, and they literally lose in that.
Happens too, and that's the psychology part. And the bot doesn't have this issue. He makes all the steps automatically for us and takes the headache away. But then we also need to be in the position that we don't check 20, 30 times the day CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko for the pricings. That's why often is that the people who are wealthy, they make much more money than the people who are not wealthy, because the not wealthy people, they have like a scarce, because they need to still eat, they need to pay rent, so they need to also have their day-by-day money or monthly money. But the rich ones, they just put, okay, let's wait, and they do their things. So somebody call them, say, oh, bro, it's up a lot. When they check, oh, they make 10 times their money. Okay, let's take half out and then leave the rest. And they are super in profit. So that's the advantage of being wealthy and relaxed. And the most people are not. So that's why I think the bot is very valuable, or a good copy trading.
I think we kind of logically came to the wrap up of this conversation, where you have to always be like a very focused, but still like controlled emotions. And if you can't do that and you can't be mindful yourself, you need to have that bot who can help you to make that right decisions. Yeah. And thank you for being today here.
Thanks.
And it was Bitget Show, and I was your host, Vugar Usi, and our valuable guest, Matthias Mende. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Bitget, for having me.